Hi everybody, welcome. In this video, we're going to be reviewing some things from last week and continuing to learn more about Confederate monuments. So let's get started.
First of all, what is the Confederacy? Well, a confederacy is a political union. And when we're talking about U.S. history and we talk about the Confederacy, we're probably talking about the Civil War. During the Civil War, the Southern states who chose to leave the U.S., they joined together in a political union called the Confederate States. So here on this map, you can see those southern states. During the Civil War, they were called the Confederate States as they joined together for the purpose of fighting against the North. And so when we talk about Confederate monuments, we're talking about monuments that are meant to honor the people or events that took place in these Confederate states during the Civil War. Here in this photo, we can see the Jefferson Davis Monument in New Orleans, Louisiana. This monument was officially dedicated in 1911. Here you can see a photo from the monument's dedication ceremony, which was held in 1911 in New Orleans. So here's the monument, all brand new. This was a whites-only ceremony. Over here, you can see people. These are actually school children arranged in the shape of the Confederate battle flag. The Confederate flag, it was red, white, and blue. It looked like this. This was the Confederate flag. It has the same colors as the United States flag. This down here is the Confederate battle flag, which was used by the Confederate military forces during the Civil War. And so that's the flag that the school children are trying to emulate here. This ceremony was held in 1911, which was the 50th anniversary of Jefferson Davis's inauguration as President of the Confederacy. So this was a logical time for people to be honoring Jefferson Davis and also the Confederacy in general. Nowadays, of course, many people don't like statues like this one because they feel that these statues and monuments honor a time and a place where slavery was legal. And so you can see here, in recent years, the statue of Jefferson Davis has been vandalized. People spray painted slave owner on this statue. Jefferson Davis was a slave owner. If you try to visit the statue today, this is all that you will see. After years of people debating what should be done about the statue, finally in 2017, the city government of New Orleans decided to remove the statue. So the statue was removed, its pedestal was removed, this little platform is all that remains, and the statue was moved to a secret location. The cost for removing the statue was paid for by the city government as well as some private donations, so the costs were split. Here you can see a monument dedicated to Robert E. Lee. Of course, Robert E. Lee was the most famous Confederate general during the Civil War. And you can see that this statue is located on top of a very tall pedestal. This monument, like the last one that we saw, this is located in New Orleans, Louisiana. This one was dedicated in 1884. Now, you might be asking yourself, why 1884? Well, remember that the Civil War ended in 1865. Robert E. Lee died a few years later in 1870. So, soon after he died, many people wanted to honor him, and so they began raising money. And it took a few years to raise all the money to build a monument. Then they had to find someone to build it. Then he had to build it. So by the time that the statue was ready for its dedication ceremony, it was 1884. The monument had a public dedication ceremony in 1884 in New Orleans. The ceremony was a big deal. It was held on George Washington's birthday. Jefferson Davis, the former Confederate president, was in attendance, as were two of Robert E. Lee's daughters.
Of course, in more recent times, the statue became very controversial. A lot of people wanted to keep it, but a lot of people also wanted to remove it. And so the city government felt pressure from both sides. And now you can watch a video to find out what happened. So please watch that video now.